What is going on? What's happening, y'all? Another good week of black quarterback action. We got Cam. We got Dallas against Russell Wilson, Teddy Bridgewater. Murray has just been excellent. Then we got Monday Night Football, Lamar and Patrick Mahomes. And it's just another great week. Let's get into the Black Quarterback Series. Let's get into it.
And fighting against the black quarterback situation, and then you've got people telling you, your friends saying that you can't make it. It just shows that some of the stigmas that have been against us for so many years are showing that they were just stigmas. You're like, a black quarterback can never make it in college or professional. Everything is opening up now.
It's not just that black quarterbacks are guys. What you have now is franchise elite passers.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Look. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent thousands of racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap and back.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? My name is Keith. It's Black Quarterback Series. If you guys don't know, I do Black Quarterback Series every week, where I take all the starting black quarterbacks and cover them all. We're going from Tyrod Taylor up to Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. So we do them all here. So stay tuned, enjoy, and have fun. So the first guy we got today is Cam Newton, and I want to start with him because he's the first game. He's normally the first game I watch, when I start my day off on Sundays. And let's get his numbers out the way because his numbers are not entailed about the game for real. So 9 attempts for 117 rushing yards, no touchdowns on the ground. 17 for 28 passing, 162 yards, touchdown and interception. So Cam's first half was awful. Like, the first half was just so bad. It was typical bad Cam. Like, it was typical bad Cam, and I didn't know the Raiders were that good, but settled down, got it together. They started running the ball more. And in the second half, they just completely blitzed the Raiders. The Raiders really had no answer for that running game. Cam had a couple big runs. Sony Michel had some runs. Just a really, really good second half. It was really gritty. It was real gritty. The final score made it look like it was a high-flying game, but it wasn't really. The game was gritty. So a good win for Cam, and he created a meme. Funny enough, or a GIF created funny enough. So good game for Cam. And then we go on to the other side, from great coaching to awful coaching. We have Deshaun Watson. He was playing the Steelers, and let's get the really, really bad pass out the way. So Deshaun is a gunslinger. He needs to learn to say no to a play. To say no to a play and just throw the ball away or just step out of bounds. Because the interception he threw was just so bad that it made me want to throw some at the TV. Because it's like Deshaun. Just take the L. Just take the L. You don't have to try he has to try so hard, but you got to know when the play is over and when to take the L. So, but other than that, Deshaun played pretty well. The defense just couldn't stop Ben. It would be nice if they had a receiver that could take the top off of defense. Like, I wonder who that could be, But they really need a running game. It reminds me of Peyton Manning before. It reminds me of Peyton Manning a little bit in Indianapolis, where it was just Peyton Manning. They didn't really have a running game, and then when they got a pretty good running game, then it could be a little more even. Deshaun needs a running game so they can respect the running game. Just from what I'm seeing, they don't even respect the running game. From what I'm seeing, defenses, they just don't respect the running game. And Deshaun is great, but he's not that great. Nobody is great. Tom Brady is not that great to where they don't have a running game at all. They had a couple good runs. Deshaun made some magical plays. Deshaun was being Deshaun, being magical. But at the end of the day, if you can't get stops on defense and you don't have a running game, you're not going to win very much. And that comes to terms. We're 0-3. We're 0-3 looking in the NFC South. And I'm not sure. Obviously, I don't watch the Jaguars. I don't watch the Titans. Jaguars, Titans, Colts, and then Deshaun in Houston. So obviously, I don't watch none of those other three teams. But you're staring at 0-3. Possibly staring at 0-4. What do you do? I know we have COVID. I know that's an issue. But what do? You gotta. Something has to change. And I've been beating a dead horse all year, even when the schedule came out and when they traded DeAndre Hopkins. I've been saying it. They need to fire their coach. He has ruined this offense. No, the offense is already pretty bad, but he has single-handedly ruined his offense by trading your best player and not finding a way. And to make matters worse, he's also the GM, so he's probably not even. So the owner probably don't even feel compelled to fire him. I don't know any news about that, but it's just like, what are you gonna do when you're on? The way I'm looking at Deshaun, I can see this team being 7-9. Deshaun making a Pro Bowl, but they're 7-9. Like, that's not good. So somebody go save Deshaun, go give him some talent. And so I was just thinking, what if you put Deshaun, and I might do a video on this, what if you put Deshaun on the Dallas Cowboys? Could you imagine the offense if you was to put Deshaun Watson on the Dallas Cowboys? Let me know if y'all want me to do a video about that. I have a lot to say about that. So moving on to Dwayne Haskins. And so I'm watching Dwayne Haskins play, and I watched the first drive, right? And I watched the first drive, and he looked so good. So I wrote on my paper, he's growing as a player. And then he proceeds to throw 3 interceptions the more I watch. And I'm just like, what happened? You're so inconsistent. O-line is not very good. I'm sorry, guys. Here's Deshaun's numbers. 19 to 27, 264 yards, 2 touchdowns and interceptions. My bad. So Haskins. Let's do Haskins numbers now. 21 for 37, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And those 3 interceptions were the difference between them winning the game and losing the game. If Haskins doesn't throw those interceptions, they probably win the game. Haskins has to limit mistakes. Now, he doesn't have a whole lot of talent on the offensive offense. Offensive line is shaky, and just an overall bad day at the office for the offense, right? But you were in the game with the Cleveland Browns, and you had a chance to win. If you don't throw the ball, now, Cleveland is really, really good, especially on the offensive line. Nick Chubb is amazing. But you're in that game, and your defense is for real. They held Baker. They made some critical stops. Now, I know their second overall pick is hurt now, but they made some critical stops that opened up Dwayne to get it done. But him throwing the interceptions were drive killers. You can't have these drive killers. Now, I'm not out on him yet because I like him. I'm not out on him yet. This is only his second season, and he's playing for Washington. But I need to see some turnaround. Just like now, this guy has more talent, and we'll talk about him later. This guy has more talent, but that second year, he made a turn. He's turned the corner. I'll talk about him later. It's gonna be interesting to see Dwayne's development because I hate to go out on a limb, but I'm not seeing the development that I would like to see out of him. That one drive, that first touchdown drive, if he could bottle that and be that, I would be happy with it. But he didn't show that at any other point in the game. So he has Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera developed Cam, so we'll see. I think Haskins' ultimate evolution would be Cam Newton. His high end would be Cam Newton. His low end would be Geno Smith. So anything in the middle of that would be better. And I think he has more talent than Geno Smith. So we're moving on to Dallas and Russell Wilson. First of all, DK Metcalf, bro. I've been raving about you since last season. I don't know if I'm gonna put the play in here, but I'm for sure probably gonna have a screenshot of it. But it's DK Metcalf, man. Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to drop, man. That's a tough one. You got to keep playing. Russell Wilson put it right there. You have to finish the play. So if you guys don't know what play I'm talking about, DK Metcalf was wide open, and so he went to catch the ball, and so he caught the ball, and instead of finishing the play and running to the end zone, he just held the ball, and I think it's Stephon Diggs' brother knocked the ball out of his hand, and it flipped into the back of the end zone, and it ended up being a turnover, a touchback. And so Dallas ended up getting the ball back, and I think Dallas scored. So you have to be better than that. But it's funny how life works because he ends up catching the winning touchdown. He ends up catching the winning touchdown. So, life imitates art. Let's get Dak threw 57 passes. Wow. 57? I just don't like that. But Russell threw 40. So I don't know. It's just way too many. It didn't. But for Russell, it didn't feel like he threw that many passes. Russell was 27 for 40, 315 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. I'm gonna put a stat up on the screen. I can't remember what stat it is, but it's like he's thrown the most interceptions through 3 games or something like that. And I don't think he's thrown an interception yet. Like, what Russell Wilson is doing is amazing. But today, he wasn't amazing. I will give it to Dallas. They made life hard for Russell, and he still went crazy. They made life really, really hard for us because they was playing very well, and they was playing very well on the outside and causing a lot of coverage sacks. But he still got it done. The first quarter was for Dallas. The first quarter was so rocky. So many penalties for Dallas, shooting themselves in the foot defensively all quarter, and it was just rough. They ended up missing 2 field goals. No, it was 2 extra points, and it really came back to bite them in the behind at the end, because they ended up losing by, I think they lost by 7. I think they lost by 7 or 8. You got to take all the points you can, but Dak can't control that. So Dak's numbers was 37 for 57. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know why I'm stuttering like this. 37 for 57, 472 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He rushed for 26 yards. Dak is really getting into that James Harden territory where he's putting up all these crazy numbers, but they don't lead to much. I was talking to my stepfather, and I was like, these don't lead to much. You know what I mean? These huge statistical anomalies that he's doing don't lead to wins. They're 1-2. And Dak has had like 2 400-yard passing games. Like, Dak needs to have, a perfect example. I won my championship LeBron had. And I got the Lakers in 6 against Miami. So LeBron had a very impactful 16 points in the 4th quarter of Game 5 against Denver. These points were impactful. You felt them, and it really altered the end result of the game. But I think it was Game 3. He had a 30-point triple-double, but the points were not very impactful at all. That's what that's what Dak Prescott's numbers are. They're huge, and they're like, if you just look at the box score, you're like, oh my God, Russell Wilson. I'm sorry, guys. Dak Prescott. You look at Dak Prescott, and you're like, oh my God, his numbers are just crazy. They must have won. They don't win these games. I need a statistic or something like that. I'm trying to find it, but Dak has thrown, I don't know how many 400-yard games, and I don't know if they've won many of them. Like, empty calories, empty stats. I would rather have a 300-yard game with 5 touchdown passes than a 400-yard game with 2 interceptions, then we lose by 7. So that's just the way I feel about both of those. And obviously they were both playing each other, so hit both of those at the same time. Good game. Really, really good game. I highly recommend going look at the highlights of it. Don't take my word for it. Look, like, subscribe. But go watch it yourself to get the full picture of it and make your own judgments. So we're gonna move to Teddy. They should have lost this game. The last play was beautiful. They should have lost, but they won. Teddy Bridgewater was very pedestrian. 22 for 28, 235 passing yards to touchdown. Running game was really good, which set up the pass, which allowed Teddy to get out the numbers. They should have won the game. Some of the three should have been 7s. If one of the 3s that they got would have been 7, they would have won the game. But Teddy played well. He won't make the huge play for you, but he also won't make the big mistake for you either. So he's kind of stuck in purgatory when it comes to that. I would love to see Teddy Bridgewater take more risk in his game. I think that would take him to the next level as far as being an elite quarterback, because right now he's in that lower half tier of really good quarterbacks. It's like him and Derek Carr are around the same. They're in the same class, so to speak, as it comes to elite, not elite, but decent quarterbacks. So pretty decent game. They ended up losing. Pretty pedestrian, if I say so myself. So yeah. Let's get to one of the big dogs that I am really enjoying watching Kyler Murray play this year. It's probably because he has my favorite receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, now, who's doing what he do. 10 receptions for 137 yards, and you felt it. But Kyler Murray is just spectacular. I don't even know what to say. His athleticism, and he got this juke that he do. Oh my God. I'm gonna try to show it. I'm trying not to get these videos copywritten, trying to grow, But these guys are so fun to watch. But Kyler Murray had also the same problem that Dwayne Haskins had, where you're turning the ball over too much and you're putting your team in bad positions. So you're putting your team in bad positions to where even your spectacular games won't be looked at because you lost. So I have more faith that Kyler will get it done, because all Kyler has to do is lower the interceptions. He lowered the interceptions. Dark horse MVP, like I've been saying all year. His numbers was 22 for 35, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. And 3 interceptions, they were rough. Yeah, they were rough. So that's all NFL. That's actually all of NFL Sunday that I got for you guys. So that's NFL Sunday. I'm going to see y'all a little later. I'm recording this Sunday night as the Saints are playing Green Bay. I don't know who's winning. I'll probably check into that game. Contrary to probably belief, I do watch other games. And so I will see y'all in the future. So take it away, future me. Somebody go save this man, because he tried. He really did. He really did tonight. He tried. Go save this man. Go give Lamar a hug. Tell him it's gonna be okay. Tell him he has a better offense than they showed him. Somebody go give Lamar a hug. Tell him everything's gonna be okay. Go buy some merch. Whatever you can do to make Lamar feel like he's actually appreciated, because tonight he couldn't get nobody to come with him. But no, in all seriousness, Lamar couldn't win for losing tonight. He tried his best, but his team didn't want to come along with him. Dropped by Andrews. Dropped by Hollywood. He made a bad pass. I will give him that. That should have been a touchdown. He missed. He underthrew Hollywood. But this game, what this game really came down to, and obviously I'm talking about Kansas City versus Baltimore. What this game really came down to is offensive line play and coaching. The offensive line play for Kansas City, it was a play where Pat had all types of time. He was able to do whatever he wanted to do in the pocket, and it was very methodical. Like Pat was able to do whatever he wanted to do, and Lamar wasn't. It just didn't look like they wanted to pass block. Like my uncle said, he didn't think they knew how to pass block. It was just a rough one. It was a rough game all around. Baltimore got punched in the mouth, but I will give it to them. Baltimore fought. They got back in the game in the third quarter, made it a game, and the Chiefs responded. And the defense just couldn't do nothing with Kansas City. The fullback had a touchdown, and Eric Fisher had a touchdown. When fullbacks and linemen are getting touchdowns, I mean, what can you really do? Like Andy Reid's play calling is just on another level. The play calling was just phenomenal by Andy Reid, and Baltimore couldn't really do nothing with it. With the missed drops, the penalties, and the drop passes, Lamar really had no types of help tonight. I don't have it in front of me because I'm like doing my initial reaction. So these are his numbers up here. I don't think he passed 400 yards. I think it was like 8 for 20 something. I don't think he had very many completions. It's okay. They got punched in the mouth tonight. It's early. The difference between Dak Prescott, if Dak Prescott would have did this, and Lamar, those are Lamar's fault. They wouldn't have been in that game at all if Lamar didn't play ball. You know, a couple drives should have been 7 instead of 3. If both of those drives are 7, like the opening drive should have been 7, and the drive with all the penalties should have been 7. We're having they might still be playing in overtime if both of those. So we never know. So Lamar will take it. He'll be better next week. I'm not sure they play next week, but I fully expect them to come ready to fight next week. That's a good team over there. Kansas City is a good team. That's the Super Bowl champions. Uses everybody. It's like getting dunked on Blake Griffin. Everybody gets blown out by Kansas City. So I don't see nothing. I don't see a problem with that. I don't see a problem with that. So let's talk about Kansas City, who's a lot more like happy. So I wrote on my paper, the talent was overwhelming. The play calling, the schemes, the knowing what you need to do and being where you need to be, it was just so masterful and manipulative. It felt like watching a well-oiled Bill Belichick team with talent. Like, it was just masterful. Here's Patrick Mahomes' numbers up here. It was just, as a Kansas, because I'm more of a Baltimore fan than a Kansas City fan, but obviously I cover both guys. To watch Kansas City against anybody else, I'd have been like, oh my God, this is just a great game. But against Lamar, I'm like, man, why you had to do that to Lamar? Man. But it was a great game. Not great, but it was good. They just outcoached and outplayed Kansas City. Or Kansas City outcoached and outplayed the Ravens. The Ravens defense was awful. Kansas City's defense did good enough. Kansas City just overwhelmed them. There's nothing else I can really say. There's a lot of things Baltimore has to look at if they want to meet that team in the AFC Championship game. So that's all I got for you guys for this week. That game was very emotional for me because it was just Baltimore should have been closer. It should have been a better game than it was, but it ended up being a decent game. We had some fireworks. So if you like this type of content, you like me being weird and all this good stuff and talking about what I love to talk about, football and black quarterbacks, or football and black people in general, go ahead and like and subscribe. That's all I got for y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Be good night.